10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is September 14th and we've got a quick episode for you all. So we're going to start today with this one saying, why did I get RPL from Object? And this was a comment from Destroyer, and it turns out that Valdov says, was it 13.64 RPL from the GMC? And Destroyer says yes, and Val says this is from the ETHDenver volunteers. So if we look at the events DAO, we'll see that a whole bunch of people got a 13.64 RPL, and there's a whole bunch of names that we know here from community members like Fornax and Kent Philly and Logic Beach and Superfizz. So these are all people who volunteered at the Rocket Pool booth during ETHDenver, and they all got RPL. So this was a grant, a retroactive application that went in during the April cycle, and look, even I got some here, which was really nice during the April cycle, and it was stuck in retroactive grants payments hell, and of course that has been lifted now, so this was able to go through. This RPL came through to people who had the POAP for that volunteering, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that next. But there were 46 people who got this reward, and there's a little bit more information that I'm going to share with you about it now. So here we have a post from Schifrin, who of course is the GMC admin, saying, hello Rocket Poolers, in May 2023, May not April, the grants Bounties Retrospective Awards Committee approved RA022312 for ETHDenver volunteers. We're currently in the process of paying out 46 community members who volunteered at ETHDenver. That of course has been paid out now, using the POAP list for attendees. Attendance confirmation available here, and there's a POAP gallery which you can see that there were 45 people, and then the 46th was another person who was verified to have attended, and here there's a whole bunch of people with their addresses that got the POAP. And yeah, you can see that this is very well known members of the community, and a whole bunch of like really awesome people. And and look, there's the RPL benefactor as well. So the RPL benefactor also got some RPL from this. So going back, Schifrin goes on to say that the GMC is offering a 1-week opportunity for anyone who volunteered at ETHDenver but didn't receive the POAP. To submit a claim, simply post your Discord username below, your POAP wallet address, and the shift you volunteered. Once 2 GMC members who also attended the conference verify your attendance, we'll add you to the second list of payment awardees. The claim submission window ends on September 20th at midnight UTC, 11 o'clock and 59 minutes UTC. We want to ensure that everyone gets the recognition they deserve. Please note, if you're not on the POAP list, do not submit a claim. So here Hans Gruber says, cool to see this going out. I did miss claiming the POAP. My username at the time of volunteering was Hans Gruber 1886. It's now _Hans Gruber. Had the afternoon shift on March 2nd. POAP wallet address was this POAP wallet address. So people are already starting to reply to this and trying to get authorized, and they just need the vouching system basically from GMC members, and then you can get 13 RPL too. This was a nice little thing that the GMC kind of sent back to the PDAO, because so many members of the GMC were going to be eligible for this payment. And there was the PDAO that decided that we should go ahead with this because it was a nice thing for the community. I don't know if we're going to do it every year. I doubt that we will, but it was a nice thing to do for this occasion, because it was such a wonderful ETHDenver for everyone who attended, and so many Rocket Poolers really stood out and kind of really got known. The community got known as the most vibrant and present community, and that was wonderful. Okay, moving on from that, we have this news from Joe saying that he's working on a new key management system in the Smartnode stack, which will have the following modes. So it says there'll be a normal mode where the password and the node wallet are stored on the disk. There'll be a no password mode. So the node wallet on the disk, password is not on it. It asks you when you want to do a transaction. And then also be a read only mode. So the node wallet will not be on the disk. You can put whatever address you want in there and pretend to be somebody else. It just can't transact, obviously. It says the no password mode will eventually also support hardware wallets, but that won't be in version 2 right away. So as I've been saying, like Joe's been working on version 2 of the Smartnode stack, kind of building it up from fresh again, from brand new. And what's happening is, like, these are all the features that would have been nice to have in the beginning. Or like, what we know now, kind of making it from scratch. So the reason why this is really great is, there was always the case that, you could have the most amazing security around your node, with like SSH and firewalls and like two-factor authentication, all that kind of stuff to prevent people getting into your node from like your client machine. But what would happen is, if someone had access to your physical machine, they could basically take control of that, and they would be able to steal all your crypto. And the reason why that would happen is because the keys for that wallet were stored on the machine. And that's what normal mode means, right? The password, your words and the wallet itself was all stored on the machine, and anyone who had access to the physical device could then perform transactions on that device. Then with the no password mode, what would happen is, anytime you want to do a transaction, you'd have to put your password in there. And then with the read only mode, that's just that wouldn't have anything on there. So you could, like it says, you could pretend to be somebody else to see what's going on in their node, but there's nothing that you can do with that information. So those are all really interesting things, and I think that's going to be like a nice little extra layer of security that would go on to the node. Of course, the main piece of security that would prevent theft in terms of your node being compromised is having your withdrawal address set up. If you have your withdrawal address set up to a separate hardware wallet and not your node address, then even if someone took physical control of your device, there wouldn't be a way for them to get the crypto off that and go to themselves. It would be that the crypto came off that and then went to the withdrawal address. So that would definitely be much better. But it's a really secure system as it is, but this is just making it even more secure. So thank you, Joe, for thinking of these really cool things. I'm really excited about version 2 coming soon, hopefully. Okay, next we have this update from the Rocket Rescue Node. So the Rescue Node is a great service that the GMC is funding, and Patches and other rocket scientists are managing on the behalf of the community. So here we have some news saying that Lodestar's incompatibility with the Rescue Node was resolved in release 1.11.0 2 weeks ago, thanks to Nico, who is the protocol engineer and Lodestar in Ethereum. And it goes on to say that we've also subscribed to all subnets, just missing just for Lodestar and oversight. So Lodestar's user performance should modestly improved. So this is really great that the Lodestar Rescue Node is now up and running. So if you are one of the people who are running Lodestar, then now you don't have to worry about being on the wrong client if you need Rescue Node support, which is really wonderful. And in classic, bury the news form here, there's a second tweet that's a subtweet to this, a child tweet to this, saying, in other news, we finished research for and kicked off development for solo validator support. It's coming soon, stay tuned. So this is really funny because this is actually huge news, and it's kind of just hidden away here. So let me just give that a retweet, because what it means that if there are any solo validators who need to use the Rescue Node for some reason, then they'll be able to get access to that, which is really amazing, and something that I think is a great service to the rest of the Ethereum community, that this will be possible. And of course, that's on top of the Rescue Node stuff all being open source. So if there's any other teams, any other protocols that need a Rescue Node, they can run a version of it. Patches has previously said that he'd rather that they run the software as close as possible to the one that the Rescue Node uses, and reach out to him if they need help getting it set up, because if something goes wrong, they might be able to the MEV stuff might be able to get stolen, and nobody wants that. Okay, next we had this news from about a new proposal coming through on the Nouns DAO, and this is really interesting. So it says here it's proposed, I presume, by it's proposed by CowSwap, saying that the WST ETH treasury that Nouns has should be moved over to rETH instead of to WST ETH. And previously this was done through Cronfi with their TWAM system. However, that kind of went nowhere, and there's the CowSwap people here are throwing some shade as well, saying like that they had 500 ETH to trade and they actually had a whopping 1.25% slippage in a stable swap, and said we believe Cow protocol provide much more competitive execution price that is compatible with fair market prices. So this is something that I actually really like. I think that CowSwap is definitely a way better solution than Cronfi, what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to over-engineer the issue. They kind of made a case for why, at large amounts their system works. However, I think that even then I wasn't wholly convinced. CowSwap, of course, have had a long history of providing like really good products and really good services. So I think that they're the ones that should be the ones who do this. Here it says advantages: the Cow protocol pioneered intent-based trading since inception in 2021. This allows users to define order parameters without specifying the actual execution path call data. Users should expect the most optimized execution route to be chosen by the winning solver at the time of execution. It says given a sell order of 500 WST ETH to rETH, there's several options for order placement that can provide different properties. We'll focus on TWAP, which is time weighted something order setup. Although it seems not to be necessary in the smaller 500 ETH trade, the purpose is to demonstrate how large an order could be set up, and then they just kind of like talk through that. So I think that this is a much better way for Nouns to swap their treasury WST ETH to rETH, and I think it's a much more straightforward path for it to do. And then there's on-chain voting for that as well. So I think that this is a much better idea, much better plan than what Cronfi were doing, and it's much more straightforward. And I hope that Nouns DAO were able to follow this. Jasper then put out a tweet about this saying, ignore FUD and build. Check out this Nouns DAO's proposal to use the new CowSwap features to do a cost-efficient swap into Rocket Pool's rETH. With CowSwap's highly reputable history and TWAP functions, this is the perfect solutions for DAOs diversifying. And of course, here, if other DAOs want to use the same process, they'll be able to do that as well, and they'll be able to get jump past STETH or WST ETH and get into rETH, which is fantastic. So like I said, today's episode is going to be a quick one. That's everything that I've got for you all today, so I'm going to call it a day, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.